Hello， 大家好，欢迎收看《一件军外套》，每周跟您军事外交 talk， 我是向正维。这是三立新闻全新开设的节目，希望能够浅显易懂的方式呢，让大家了解艰涩的军事跟外交话题，还有我们的采访秘辛。那今天第一集的内容要来跟大家聊聊美国制造行不行？美国总统川普对全球寄出了关税，他不仅是要消弭贸易逆差，他还能够希望吸引制造业回流。但说真的，要让制造业回流到美国，有这么简单吗？那我前阵子呢去了美国的德州跟加州采访，我就发现有几个挑战必须要克服，而且很多跟人有关。第一个是劳动力人口实在不太好找，很多美国人他们喜欢坐在办公室里面，他们喜欢做的是自媒体啊，比如说金融产业啊，他们不喜欢做劳动力很高的工作。那这些工作呢，就必须要仰赖大量的外来人口。第二部分是他们的人事成本很高，你知道吗？在德州，他们平均年薪是120万到150万台币，而且雇主呢还必须负担他们本薪1.5倍的各项费用，包括了保险费。第三个也是跟人有关，就是很多人有刻板印象说美国人好像比较懒，比较难管，好像比较说不动。但其实我在现场并没有发现这样的问题，美国人还是很勤奋的。但问题是，他们跟台湾不一样，他们很重视工作还有休息之间的平衡。那这跟亚洲的工作文化就非常的不一样。第四点，他们的环保法规比较严格，因此去美国设厂的话，你必须经过比较长时间的审核，你也需要有比较多的资金。所以综合以上，你就会发现说，要去美国设厂，除了你的心态上要改变，让你自己变成一个美国企业之外，你还要注意一个事情，就是你的口袋够不够深。那如果你今天做的是传统制造业，你的利润本身就不高，你说实在你要去美国设厂就比较困难。但如果今天做的是高科技产业的话，那机会就比较大了。前阵子呢，台湾的矽晶圆制造大厂环球晶圆 Global Wafers 就在德州北部一个叫做谢尔曼的城市开启了他们的新厂。我们当时到德州独家采访的这个过程，让大家感受一下现场的气氛。
I am very pleased to announce that Global Wafers' intention to expand our current U.S. investment by another $4 billion to reach
哇，听到这段，你看全场嗨到全部站起来了，因为他们是在现行的35亿美金投资之外，再加码40亿美金，总共来到75亿美元的这个规模。那你知道吗？这个厂房非常的大，我们都号称说好像可以在里面跑马拉松。而且呢，他们制造的是最先进的12寸的矽晶圆。好，这边可能会有很多观众跟我一开始的时候一样，不知道什么是矽晶圆，那矽晶圆跟晶片又有什么不一样？那简单来讲，矽晶圆是制造晶片的基板材料，他们在制作的时候呢，他们会提炼高浓度的矽，把它做成一根矽棒，之后呢再把它做切片、抛光，然后提供给他们的客户，包括了台积电、包括英特尔、德州仪器或是三星等晶片制造厂，而且这些在美国都有设厂。我们今天非常开心能够有机会跟环球晶圆美国的总经理 Mark England 来对谈。Hello, Mark.
Hello, hi.
Congratulations on the new plan. You must be very excited.
Shocked, excited. There's not enough words to describe the excitement and of being able to rebirth silicon in the United States. It's the Global Wafers America is our flagship factory. So all best practices, all advanced node end applications is what this factory will be able to serve. So we're also looking at the only advanced node silicon wafer operation in the U.S. So we kind of feel like the U.S. is our playground, so to speak, to work with our key customers on those very advanced node products.
So what's your feeling when you first hear about the additional $4 billion investment?
Well, fortunately, I was not sitting in a high chair. Otherwise, I might have fallen out. And so I felt like I needed a seat belt because very huge surprise. Doris, but we know that Doris' intention, commitment is real, and this the thing about silicon is very much like a wafer fab, a TSMC type of wafer fab, in that scale is so important.
好，为什么这件事情这么重要？因为是在川普总统就任之后，台湾投资美国最具体的成果。你知道吗？我在德州的时候听到很多台湾厂商有意愿到美国去设厂，但他们现在做的事情呢，是设立办公室，或者是买来土地，但是还没有要盖厂。他们现在都还在观望，看看台湾跟美国在关税谈判上面会谈出一个什么样的结果。因此，环球晶圆这一次的盛大开幕，可以说是台湾投资美国最具体的一个案例。第二点来讲的话，这个事情发生在德州，你知道吗？德州是红州，也就是共和党的大本营。那我们希望能够透过这件事情，让美国了解台湾跟美国携手合作的这个企图心，还有我们释出的这个善意。第三点还非常重要，就是美国20年来第一座最先进的矽晶圆制造厂，而且呢，它可以弥补美国半导体的供应链，来弥补它过去的不足，而且也可以被称为是一种安全的保障。当然，很多台湾民众就会说了，你看台积电也去美国设厂，去加码投资，现在供应链也跟着去美国了，那台湾不就失去矽盾的保护了吗？我们接下来有一个独家的访问，希望能够给你不同的观点。好，我们今天很开心呢，在借这个机会跟美国在台协会处长谷立言来聊。Hello, Director.
Hi, nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you in Texas.
Yeah,
it's
welcome
wonderful.
to the United States.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I still remember in our last interview, you mentioned the U.S. reindustrialization. So, what key role does GlobalWafers' new plan play and become an example?
Yeah, I think actually we're very excited about GlobalWafers' announcement today. Not only to open their new $3.5 billion fab, but the fact that they're going to commit another $4 billion to expand it. It's really become a symbol, I think, of what we're trying to achieve, what President Trump is trying to achieve in reindustrializing the United States. I just came from Washington, where we had the Select USA Summit, and in the opening ceremony, they had a panel of the three companies that really encapsulate what we're trying to achieve in the reindustrialization of the United States. Two were German, Mercedes and Siemens, huge companies that I think everybody has heard of, and the third was GlobalWafers. And so really GlobalWafers, I think, is very much reflective of our objective to try to bring industrial production back to the United States, especially in key sectors, key technology sectors like semiconductors.
Yeah, so do you think this new plan represents a new partnership level between the U.S. and Taiwan?
I do, and actually, maybe not a new partnership, a new phase of the partnership between the United States and Taiwan. I mean, if you think back over history, fabrications of semiconductor and related equipment, including wafers, started in the United States, and over time, it spread around the world. Taiwan, obviously, in many areas of manufacturing, became the world leaders. And now you see that supply chain coming back to the United States. And I think that's just reflective of what a globalized industry it is, but also the opportunities, particularly given the customer-driven demand here in the United States that creates opportunities for companies like GlobalWafers or TSMC or other firms to come to the United States, be closer to their customers, be closer to their suppliers. And really, GlobalWafers is a key element of the supply chain that's going to support not only companies like Taiwan companies like TSMC or American companies like Texas Instruments, but even third countries like Samsung, who has a big presence here in Texas. And so this is really exciting kind of development in, as you mentioned, the U.S.-Taiwan partnership.
So you think that we are getting closer? And maybe like an investor, you just mentioned that we can feel like more safer. Can we say that?
Certainly. I mean, I think the closer the U.S. and Taiwan are, whether it's in investment, whether it's in trade, whether it's in technology development, achieves the effect, as we often say in the Trump administration, of making not only the United States, but both the United States and Taiwan safer, stronger, and more prosperous. And I think this is a great day for that.
Yeah, and since you just mentioned you are leading the biggest select U.S. Taiwanese delegations, right? So how has it been a fruitful trip so far?
Very fruitful. And we had the summit in Washington the last couple of days, just closed yesterday. But in addition to the summit, we brought three what we call spin-off delegations to go deeper into opportunities across the United States. And so one was focused on AI and quantum. Another one was on semiconductors, obviously with the topic of today's event. And then the third was on drones. I think these three sectors are really kind of at the leading edge of the U.S.-Taiwan investment partnership. I would say also here in Texas, and we see a lot of opportunities. You probably saw TIMA, Diandian Gonghui.
Yeah.
They had a big delegation here a couple of weeks ago. focused on AI servers because Texas, because of its location, its advantages, and energy supplies, is really becoming a hub of AI development. And we see more and more companies like Foxconn, Delta, Pegatron, looking to move their production to Texas to support that. And so you're seeing a cluster, a kind of dynamic between Texas to the east and Arizona to the west in these two key sectors, AI and AI servers, and semiconductors. And we'll expect to see more and more Taiwan companies coming in to support the development of these two supply chains. But the other exciting thing about our delegation, we had 138 companies, over 180 people on the Taiwan delegation.
Is it the biggest delegation in history?
Well, not in, maybe not in quantity because they have different numbers over time, but definitely in quality. And the companies that are here looking for serious investments, looking for new opportunities. I think we've had this Select USA for a number of years, and I think companies, as they've come year by year, they've been able to focus more on exactly the sectors, exactly the locations that they'd like to invest. But in addition to the ones that everybody thinks about, semiconductors or AI, we had companies focus on everything from food production. I mean, there's more and more Americans have developed a taste for Taiwanese food products, and so at Costco you can get mian or you can get xiaolongbao, but also in healthcare. And we had over 60 small Taiwan startup companies, technology companies that are doing as heavily in the medical device field or medical technology field. And they're very eager to work with leading US hospitals and medical centers like the Mayo Clinic. And so it was a very diverse set of companies. And so we brought delegations not only to Washington, but not only to Texas, but also to Kansas, to New York, to Massachusetts, to California. So they can go really deep with different municipalities, find companies that they could sell their products to, partners for their supply chain development. And so it was a very successful, continues to be a very successful delegation this year.
It's amazing to hear that. So it's very obvious, obviously that various Taiwanese industries are interested in investing in the US. So what positive effects could this have on the tariff negotiation, do you think?
Well, I won't talk about the details of tariff negotiations. Obviously, our U.S. trade representative is leading those talks. I do think it's very encouraging that Taiwan was among the first trade partners to enter into those negotiations. I think a reflection of just how important the U.S.-Taiwan trade and investment relationship is. But if you step back from the day-to-day, the specifics of the negotiation, and look at what President Trump is trying to achieve in his trade and economic policy, it really is to address the weaknesses of the previous global trading system. Obviously, the global trading system benefited some companies in some areas very well, but many American workers and many American communities were left behind. And so what President Trump is trying to achieve is to make trade work for everybody, make trade work for all of our workers, for all of our companies, all of our communities. And here I think Taiwan can play a really critical role. As I often say, 30 years ago, it was Taiwan companies that were critical for the industrialization of China. And today, Taiwan companies can be just as critical for the reindustrialization of the United States. And this benefits Taiwan companies as well. They've spent many years in the China market. That market is becoming much more complicated, and I think many companies are realizing that the future really is here in the United States. Their customers are here, the economic growth is here. If you look at the G20 countries after the COVID crisis, no country has had as strong as economic performance as the United States. And under President Trump, obviously, we're focused like a laser on making regulations simpler, making taxes lower, creating a business environment that is friendly to investors. And so for Taiwan companies, this is a terrific opportunity to get in on the ground floor in a very exciting time. And so it's not only about making profits or increasing sales, but also it's, and including for this facility here, it's about resilience as well. I was in Japan during the 2011 earthquake in northeastern Japan. I was in Taiwan during the COVID crisis, and there was a crunch on semiconductor production. Everybody was madly trying to reach out to TSMC and other Taiwan fabs to get production. Similarly, in 2011, when much of the wafer production was impacted by that natural disaster, having the ability to have production centers in the United States close to the customers is an enormous benefit when it comes to resilience. And as I said, The production here is not only going to support Taiwan companies or American companies, but all of the other third countries who are investing here. But also this is a place where companies like GlobalWafers can export to other markets around the world, because as these clusters build, as the cost performance of the investments improve, the United States is going to become an incredibly effective platform to export from. And I think a lot of what President Trump's trade policies are doing, bringing down barriers in other markets, is going to make it provide Taiwan companies even more opportunities to expand their global presence.
Okay, and taking this opportunity, I also want to clarify one thing that most Taiwanese people are concerned about is does the U.S. government want the new Taiwan dollar to appreciate?
Anything about currencies, I'd refer you to the Department of Treasury. Really don't comment on currency movements. But that said, I would be very clear that we do look forward to more investment from Taiwan, more collaboration from Taiwan. I think there's many areas where in the longer term, stepping aside from trade negotiations or currency movements, where we see the U.S.-Taiwan partnership moving to a next level. I mean, and I think one of the, as I mentioned, we brought the delegations around different parts of the United States. One of the areas we focused on were matching Taiwan companies with what we call the microelectronic commons hubs in different parts of the United States. And this is an effort led by the federal government to work with local governments, universities, companies to develop new technologies and across various fields, from quantum to photonics to space technologies. We really see Taiwan, including for defense applications, and we see this as a huge opportunity, but not only for Taiwan companies, but also Taiwan research institutions, Taiwan universities, because we've studied the successful science park model in Taiwan, where you have this combination of leading universities working with companies, working with government to create clusters of innovation, research and development. And that's exactly what the United States is doing. And so we want to see even more partnerships, not only with company to company, but university to university, research labs to research labs. And so hopefully this week's events, this week's engagements are going to be able to add new momentum into that partnership.
Yeah, that's so great. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
so
your
much.
time.
Yeah,
and
great
see
to
you
see
in
you.
Taiwan
Yeah, I
again.
look forward to seeing you back in Taipei.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
take care.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. 好，刚刚这段访问呢，其实透露出很重要的讯号，就是不止台湾在加码投资美国，美国也在关键领域，还有在国防安全上面加深加广跟台湾的合作。确实，在川普喊出这个美国优先，在喊出关税壁垒的时候，很多人对美国产生了不信任，甚至产生了所谓的疑美论。但是听完刚刚这段访问，那看到美国在背后的运作，你是不是开始有一些不同的想法呢？欢迎在我们节目下方留言，告诉我们你的观点哦。好，以上就是这一集的一件军外套，欢迎大家多多帮我们分享、按赞，我们下一集再见喽，拜拜。